wasn't due to the fact that we always have somebody screening the near post, always, because it's a really dangerous area for ourselves defensively and for the opposition to attack. So we always have somebody in there without giving too much away. But marking comes down to the individual, and unfortunately on Saturday the individual didn't do his job.
Cheers, thanks again, Keith. There, just. Let me ask you about the two young lads who've had very bad injuries, Rhys Gray and Bennett. I know we've actually had some game time in pre-season. Obviously, they're a little way off yet. Would you be intending on sending them out on loan to, get them nearer the mark?
No. Definitely not. Rhys Gray's been out on loan too many times.
Okay.
There'll become a situation with Rhys Gray that he'll either be involved with the first team or he'll probably be surplus to requirements. As every player does, it's a natural progression. I feel somewhat sad about the Rhys Gray situation because the season we left, he was primed to play the next season. And he was sent out on loan to hide ignorance for me. He had to play that season. And I think if he had played that season, it would have been a massive success and the club would have received bids in excess of £400,000-500,000. But to send him to hide and then at the beginning of last season get the horrific injury that he got, wow, it's just so sad.
Yeah, it is when you see it.
It's so sad because he has taken a massive step back, but it's not just the fact that he's taken a step back. It's like the jungle, isn't it? It's like we live our lives. Every time he stands still, somebody else is coming on the outside. And while he's injured, there's other players making headway, and unfortunately at this moment in time there's more than one player in front of him for that position.
Well, Jamie Allen could start, like you said.
But there's a natural progression. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that Rhys is digressed. He's probably in front of himself with respect to his injury. Whether he trusts it or not, I'm not too sure. Has he still got ability, unbelievable ability? But I think it's just a shame that, like I said, when he scored that goal against Bournemouth the last game of the season, the next season should have been his season. Yeah. He should have been right. You're the next one then. But unfortunately things happen, and when things happen, and for you negatively on a football pitch as a manager, it's even more difficult to make the brave, right decisions. Because you get it from the media, you get it from the board of directors, you get it from the supporters, and you tend to go with the easy decisions rather than the brave, right decisions. Maybe that's what happened with Rhys. But with Rhys Bennett, he's coming on strong. He's very close to a return. Yeah, he's worked really hard throughout the course of the summer, and he's put himself in a position where he's probably maybe three weeks of real hard training and a couple of games away from being part of the first team squad again.
Cheers, thanks Keith. Great answer, I thought, great answer. Other question? No, go. Mike, just in the front row there, please.
Cheers. Is George Donnelly going to be the next Grant Holt?
I think I've already said that. He's got the potential. He's got definitely got the potential to be. He's a lot quicker than Grant. George Donnelly can be the target man goal scorer that we want, and he needs to be believed in. And I think he is enjoying himself. There's no question about that. I think when I came to the club, he wanted to leave. Not your fault. And I don't know. I put my trust in the team. Tony works with him on a regular basis. He enjoys his football. He knows what we need. If he doesn't do what we need, and he knows that he's susceptible to change, and Scotty Hogan can play down the middle, there's no question about that. And we can't forget Joe Bunny. You know, Joe Bunny is a 10-15 minute good substitute at this moment in time. Is he going to progress into a very good player? For me, definitely. But George can score the goals we need. He can lead the line well. And he's a lot quicker than Grant Holt, and a lot quicker than Ricky Lambert, and a lot quicker than Glenn Murray, Chris O'Grady. So you see the run he made in behind Preston on Saturday. Wow. You know, when he's got a point to prove and he's aggressive instead of being angry, then it's a very, very good player that we've got. So I've got to turn his anger into aggression, which is controlled anger. So if we do that with George, he'll give us products.
Cheers, thanks again, Keith. I think all of us have seen the transformation in the second half of last season. Can only agree with that. Martin, if you could right up to the back, please.
Thanks. Second question. It's for Colin. With regard to the stadium company and the council and everything, I know that negotiations have been ongoing for a long time, and I do realise maybe you are a lot closer to pulling something out of the bag than what most of us realise. I don't know. Two things. If with the Rugby Football League, you can get those shares back. First of all, are you in a position to be able, or is the club in a position to be able to get those shares? And secondly, how will that affect Rochdale Council? Is there any way that this club, that the board of directors can get this club for Rochdale under your own steam? Or will it always be part owned by the council?
Andrew Garlick. The objective is to get the club back so that it belongs to Rochdale Football Club. That's the objective. I suspect that whatever deal we eventually do, the council will put some conditions on it. It's whether we accept all of the conditions, none of the conditions, or some of them. But the objective is to get the club back so that we run the stadium without any interference. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Are we quite close?
Pardon?
Are we quite close to it happening?
Well, let's put it this way, we're closer today than we were yesterday. Truthfully, I wish I could answer your question honestly. I can't. We've believed historically that we've got very close, and then something's cropped up that's screwed it. But we do believe at this moment in time we're very, very close.
Thanks, Colin.
Yes, sorry. An option, please. Where is it? Come on. Scotty. Bless you.
Bonke, given that Matty Dunn nearly went to Crystal Palace for £750,000, how big a reflection is that of Rochdale Football Club to be able to land it in front of League One and Championship clubs?
It's a very good sign. He's Manchester based, and I know he wanted to play in Championship League One. He just wanted to rebuild his confidence, rebuild his career. We got the opportunity, albeit for a year initially, and we couldn't turn down that opportunity because he's a very good player, and he probably would have been sold to Crystal Palace had he not been injured against Middlesbrough on the opening game of the season before the window actually closed. So what's happened to him has hurt him, and he's got a point to prove, and I think he's shown that in the way he's trained, the way he's prepared himself, and obviously the way he's played. He's played with a lot of confidence and a lot of belief, and he feels comfortable. What gave us probably more of an opportunity was he knows how I work, how I want to play the game, and he was compatible with that. So he was more than happy to make the decision. So I'm really pleased for the football club, and again for the opportunity to work with him.
Thanks, Keith, and we're all pleased to see him back, that's for sure. Another question, please? I think it's Rob.
Another one for Keith. The year we got promoted, we seem to have quite a good first team. How do you think this squad and team compares to that one from what you've seen so far?
We're only in the early stages. I don't really like to compare. The team that got promoted it evolved from the day we took over to the Northampton game. It just kept evolving, and we found solutions to perceived problems on recruitment, on injuries, and we eventually achieved the dream of getting promoted. So we want to try and do that again, but it'll eventually evolve like it has done from when we took over in January. The team's evolved again. I think from the Dagenham and Redbridge game, with respect to team selection, to the last game of the season, there was only 3 players who started both games. So we're evolving, and I can't really tell you because within a month's time there might be another 3 changes to the squad because of one, I don't know, it might be injuries, lack of form, not compatible with what we're trying to do under the headlights of real life football. So, you know, I've got to legislate for all that, but we've got a good, young, hungry squad. It's balanced with 1 or 2 gems of experience, and it can help. And the good thing about the experience that we've got in the squad is they're not trying to hold anybody back. And me and Tony have played in squads and seen players who've tried to hold the younger players back and tried to hold 1 or 2 back. But what's good about our elder statesmen is they're all encouraging, they're all trying to help, and they want to see everybody progress and be successful and express themselves. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know where the squad can go, but I know where we want to go.
Cheers, Keith, thank you.
There's a question around budgets. Compared to other teams in the division, where do you feel we sit? So obviously Chesterfield today have announced that they've signed Ian Evatt, they've already signed Gary Roberts. It's quite different to the kind of signings you'd expect from a smaller club such as ourselves. So where do we sit in the food chain?
I don't suppose it really matters too much. What I would say about Gary Roberts is I couldn't recruit him for Barnsley last season because of what he was getting paid by Swindon. So Chesterfield are one of the, I suppose, cash teams of the league, but it doesn't always bring or merit success, does it? It can bring its own problems. There's a lot of mercenaries who chase cash around. I'm not too sure. I don't know where we are in the budget league. I know that it is what it is. We can deal with it, and we'll endeavour and try our best to generate our own cash.
The budget's important, obviously, but when this club starts spending money they haven't got, I'll despair. we'll live within our means. If we don't do that, then I said, I won't be around. If people want to pay £5 a week, £3 a week, whatever, great. We can't afford to do that. We'll support Keith as much as we can, and as often as we can. That's about it. Where do we sit in the league? I would guess, I don't know the big other clubs' budgets, I'm not really interested. I'd guess we sit at the 24 clubs, probably down around 18. That's only a guess.
Yeah, I think what AK is trying to say as well, like, is the football world, it's a sad reflection on society, because they're spending money that they haven't got. And I know a lot of supporters, and, you know, I hope nobody's really listening to this, but my team, Bolton Wanderers, or my home team, Bolton Wanderers, they are £110 million in debt. £110 million in debt. And I bumped into a conversation outside the cricket club a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about what they need to improve their opportunities this season in the pursuit of, I suppose, the gold at the end of the rainbow, Premier League. And they just didn't think twice about the possibility of spending in excess of £10 million on Jordan Rhodes. Well, why don't we just do it? I said, well, why don't you just pay your debts off first? Well, surely we should speculate, because we want success on that pitch. At what cost? You're £110 million in debt, and you want to spend another £8 million plus wages on a player because you want to speculate. And I think this is where the balance is just a little bit out of sync. You know, the overspend in football. Teams are willing to risk the possibility of going into administration for the possibility of promotion. But the ramifications on the team, not only the team, on the football club, on the board of directors, but most importantly on the supporters. You know, supporters seem to think when I have a go at teams like Portsmouth, that I'm not going to go at them, but I'm not. I'm in support of the supporters, because it's the supporters who have to regenerate and rebuild a football club where managers, board of directors, chief executives and football players quite easily go somewhere else and earn money. And then, like I said, it's always the supporters who are left holding the baby. And maybe I'm misunderstood at times, but for example, Portsmouth, then I need £1.3 million a year. You know, in League One, you know, and he's holding out for a severance pay after the club come out of administration, because if he'd taken the severance in administration, he just would have gone into a creditors list. So, you know, I don't want to sit here all night and talk about overspends in football, but it gets a little bit ridiculous, and it's all down to, unfortunately, and I'm not having a go, supporters' expectation, because like I said, let's just spend £8 million on Jordan Rhodes. Make it £118 million on Jordan. Why not?
I don't think any of us disagree with that, Keith. Another question? I'll ask one then. Keith, it's for you. Keith, I know you prepare your own team, you prepare everything, you prepare your club, but where do you see the threat to our success coming from during the forthcoming season? Who do you see as being the players, money or no money, or teams that are building?
Well, there's the obvious, Chesterfield, Fleetwood, and you look at Bristol Rovers, you look at Plymouth, and it comes down to finances and probably crowd size. You know, Bristol Rovers, Plymouth, you know, their budget alone will stack up when it comes because of the size of the crowd. But then you've got, I suppose, private investors up at Fleetwood and obviously at Chesterfield. But you can't discount the likes of Exeter, because they're astute when it comes to business, signing players, whether they're 30 plus age or whether they're young prospects. Bit of continuity there. But I think it'll be a very interesting league. I think it'll be very competitive. And, you know, it'll be an enjoyable week, but these are usual suspects, definitely.
Thanks, Keith. Another question from the floor? Thanks, Mark.
For Andrew Walcollen, season tickets, I appreciate that they've not gone up this season, but have you ever had any thoughts about making it over 12 months, direct debit? What are the pros and cons for that?
Colin, do you want to answer that one?
Well, there's the obvious administration situation with regards to administering it. In terms of the direct debit system, there is one. We've also done finance. We did finance a couple of years ago. There's actually 2 people who actually took up that option. We actually find that there are quite a number of people now, more and more people are actually using the gift vouchers or the season ticket tokens as a means of purchasing throughout the season, and that's something that we're going to continue to promote. So there is the opportunity to pay as and when it suits your pocket, as against a set amount that you would do by direct debit.
Cheers, Colin, thank you. Anybody else, any hands? I know it's warm in here, but at 2 at once, just like buses.
There's one for Keith. Last year you were quoted as saying there was a terrorist in the camp. One word answer, did you get him?
I've got to be careful using that word. People keep telling me there's different types of terrorists. There's some who, you know, they're right in your face. There's shoe bombers, isn't they? You know, everyone's trying to like. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Terrorist down then. Who was on? There was just somebody in the front.
Question for Keith, please. Last time you were here, we obviously overachieved, and until you went, we probably didn't really appreciate the job that you did. Now you've come back, do you feel you're getting that sort of appreciation and the love you probably deserve?
I'm Colin, and obviously getting on.
I don't know, maybe. Overachieving. It's a desire, it's a belief that you can go beyond your means, and that will remain for the football club, and I haven't changed that much, trust me. I'm still on the door to calling every time I need something, the board of directors, the chairman, but I'll probably do it a different way now, and maybe, yeah, I think maybe I took the club for granted, and I think maybe the club took me for granted. And like I said, I was in a mad rush. But everything now seems to be not manana, but sort of almost in slow motion, so I can see it as it's actually happening. Whereas, I don't know, sometimes you chase too hard too quickly, don't you? But I'm very happy. Like I said, there were times last season where I thought, what am I doing? I should be in Dubai now. I'm so glad I came back. I really am, honestly, I really am. And my family could see the change in me as well, and they knew that I was happy. And I'm happy with the progress that we've made, definitely, but I've got a big appreciation for the people I'm working for. And I probably didn't show that appreciation when I was here. But experiences teach you, don't they? or they should do. So, like I said, it's great working with Colin and the board of directors, but it's business, and you know, we've got to be successful, or my friends will be sacking me.
And the night so far, I think, yeah. I think it was yourself, wasn't it, yeah?
Keith, sports science, when you were here last time, you introduced that and it was very successful. Have you reintroduced it this season, or last season and this season, and what effect do you see that having?
Yeah, definitely. It's a staple diet of knowledge for the players. And the players want that knowledge. They want to improve. They want to know. There's no cheats. You know, I don't want to be arguing with players. I want to give them information. I want to give them facts. And then there's no room to manoeuvre. You know, it's basically, you're on lockdown. We know what you're doing on the training pitch during the games. We can show you visually. We can show you data. We use every facet that we possibly can within our means, and it's really important because the players do want to develop, they do want to improve, they do want to play as high as they possibly can for as long as they can, and we try to teach them good lessons with respect to the time that they're with the football club and for the future as well. So it makes my job a whole lot easier and quicker because I'm not arguing or debating. Well, there's the facts. I've got them on a printout. You know, you're not working hard enough. Or maybe you're working too hard. I never thought why you're working too hard. It's because you're not holding the ball up, so we'll go with something else. But it's quite, you know, people have different techniques, different training methods, etc., etc. And we've got to try and use every tool to help develop and improve and be successful. But players win games. Still that simple, really.
Thanks, Keith. Yeah, please, Mark.
For Keith again. When you see players like Adler Fondre, Glenn Murray, Craig Dawson going into the Premiership, how does that make you feel? And have we made any inquiries for Paddy McCall?
Slept in at the end there.
Yeah, it's great recognition for the work that we've done as the football club and with coaches who've worked with them players. You know, I'm still in regular contact. Craig Dawson drops in whenever he can. You know, and I try and offer him advice as much as I possibly can. But ultimately, it's his career. You know, he's got to make the right decisions and he's got to be brave enough and to, I suppose, create his own journey. But like I said, I keep in regular contact with most of them. You know, by phone calls or text messages, but it can be special. You know, when you affect somebody's career for the good, it's superb, and they've affected my career as well. Let's be right. You know, there's a kindred sort of relationship with players, and trust me, it can be really, really special. It can be, and. It makes it worthwhile, you know, spending that time trying to educate and develop and try and give them the experiences of your career, you know, in and out of football as well. And it's good. I just expect Patrick to be playing possibly in the Championship. But no, I've not made any inquiries to him. Good player, though.
Cheers, Keith, thanks. We'll come round. Any up there in the dark? Yep, there is, there's a hand wave. I think it's David. The other one.
Question for everybody. If we can start at John and work across the top table, can we just have a bit of a fun prediction for your top three in League Two this year, please? Starting with John.
Mike.